Hi friends, welcome to TechHarvesting. In today's video, we're going to have a look at a topic in CSS called Flexbox. So you might have heard of Flexbox. It's a really popular topic and there's quite a lot of things that go into Flexbox. But in this video, I've made it very short and very easy for you to understand Flexbox and its basic concepts and the basic properties. So we're going to have a look at Flexbox, how we can align the columns, center the items, and display them in rows and columns and all of those things. As always, before we start, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe and like this video if you find it helpful. So let's get started. So to get started, I've created ourselves two files, an index.html and a style.css. So these are the only two files we'll be needing for this video, since we'll be just creating a few boxes and experimenting a bit with Flexbox and checking out the basics. Also check out how it's used and what are the different use cases that we can use it for. So I'm going to start off by linking my CSS file. So I'm going to create a link tag and that's what it is. Also I'm going to go ahead and open it up in live server. So it's opened up our website, and if I would write hello, as you can see, it's giving us the output. So I'm going to first have a div with a class of container. And in here we're going to select the container and we're going to give it the display property of flex. So this is what sets the display of this container to, and it makes it a flexible div. So it makes it the Flexbox kind of div with giving the display property as flex. Next we can go ahead and test out how this works. So I'm going to create three different divs inside this. So I'm going to do div dot item into 3. So creates 3 items with the name div, and I'm going to select this item and I'm going to give in a background color of, for example, red. Let me just change it to a bit more better red, and we can also give in a margin of 20 pixels. So if you have something inside, hello 2 and hello 3, if you come back here, as you can see, it's showing 3 different things. I'm also going to change the color to white and give a padding of 50 pixels. Also maybe some border radius of 30 pixels. There you go. So we got 3 different divs here. So now this is arranged horizontally and this is a flexible div. So it's having all these 3 things inside the flex container. So our container here is called a flex container, and all these are the items inside of it. Next, if you want to come back here, we can go ahead and have a look at the direction. So right now it's horizontal, as you can see, but we can also make it vertical, and for doing that we change the flex direction. So on our container we give the flex direction property and give it on to column. So column makes everything come vertically and row makes it horizontal. So if you come back here, as you can see, everything is vertical right now. So that's the basic thing, and if you want to have a look at what we use Flexbox, we can use it in different places. Like for example, we have navigation bars in different websites. So for example, if you look at GitHub here, as you can see, there's this navigation bar and everything here is aligned with Flexbox so that everything is horizontal and there's space in between them and it works consistently. So that's what we use Flexbox for, and let's have a bit more look at different features of Flexbox. So we'll have a look at the flex wrap property now. So for example, if I had more of these divs and if I were to change the flex direction back to row, which is the default, and come back here, as you can see, it's like this. It creates a scroll bar at the bottom and you have to scroll through to see all of these extra ones. So we can use the flex wrap property and set it to wrap, and it will just wrap everything, and as you can see, it creates another line for everything and it looks a bit more better and saves space too. So that's the flex wrap property. Next, if you want to align the content, so if I were to get back here and delete these extra hello containers that we create, if you want to align the content in the center, we could just go ahead and use the justify content property and set it to center. And if you were to come back here, as you can see, everything is in the center. So if you want to align something with Flexbox, you use the justify content property. Justify content also takes other types. For example, if you put space, you can have different types like this. For example, space between, and give space between each of the elements. There's space around, so it comes back to center right now. As you can see, there's space around and between every single element. So there are different values for this too, so you can just play around with that. So that was it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye friends.